Hello and welcome to another Ask Ben W, the series in which I answer a question after I have parked my car and walking into my office in Denver Public Schools. Today's question is from Karen Carmean, who is a teacher in Denver Public Schools, and she asks, how can we tell if students or adults are engaged and they are thinking and they are sort of working through their learning if most of the interactions they are doing are online or digital? And I love this question, this idea of how we can actually tell whether or not someone is paying attention when they are buried in their phone or they are buried in their laptop. Those kinds of things are difficult to ascertain if you are simply engaging them or working with them in the physical space. It is actually much easier to tell whether or not somebody is paying attention if you are also engaging them in that digital space. And so one of the things that I think is really important for sort of determining whether or not somebody is paying attention, whether somebody is actually learning what you're asking them to, is to not only look at the physical signs and the nonverbal cues and those kinds of things that actually look like total disregard, right? Like if a student is deeply invested in typing out something on their phone, or if you're working with teachers and they are typing something on their computer, especially when you have not specifically asked them to do that, one of the most important parts is to actually provide a space for or an invitation for them to be engaging in a digital way. And so if you are regularly checking the back channel that you have set up and bringing questions from the back channel into the front channel, if you have set up a place to take notes, or a series of activities that are online that you can actually see them paying attention digitally. And I think actually it is a different kind of literacy that a teacher has to have for ways in which to take more cues than just looking at what they are doing and where their attention is. Because paying attention digitally looks different. It looks like sending out a tweet when you hear something amazing. It looks like taking notes in a collaborative space and commenting to one another. Paying attention and learning digitally requires us to look in those extra spaces. But it doesn't necessarily make it so that we can't draw them back, and that we can't have those moments where we are all sharing the same experience. Because I think one of the things that happens when you have to pay attention in a physical space and in a digital space is that it isn't the same shared experience. And so there are times where that is totally appropriate and actually is really valuable. And you can see folks, kids, adults engaged much, much better in those different spaces. But there are moments where you can say, and now I want to have a shared experience. I want to have this shared learning experience with my kids, with my students. And you can do that together, whether it's a mini lesson or it's something that you are a demonstration that you are doing, or it's just a discussion that you want to have in a single channel. And it's making those determinations when it's appropriate to pull folks together to have that shared learning experience, and when it's appropriate to allow them to pay attention using their devices. So I guess that's my answer is how do you pay attention, or how do you know if somebody is paying attention and learning when a lot of that learning is happening digitally? It's by you paying attention and learning in those digital spaces, in addition to those physical spaces that you would sort of traditionally teach. It is, I would say, harder in some ways, and it takes a specific set of literacies where you're able to construct those spaces, the back channels and those different components. But it is so valuable to be able to engage kids and adults in the ways in which they want to engage, and to see them paying attention so deeply that they want to engage in multiple ways. That to me is pretty powerful. So thanks for the question, Karen. I'm excited about just how many questions we've gotten so far. If you would like to ask one, please do so on Twitter or by replying to one of the videos with the hashtag AskBenW, and I'll do my best to answer them in a timely fashion. I'll talk to you all soon.